Hi guys, welcome to the 10th video of the Golang Restaurant Management Backend Project series. So we have completed our food controller completely and our menu controller completely, right? And now in this video, we'll try to complete our order controller, and if we get more time, we'll also finish table controller, both of these. So they're quite easy and straightforward. And in the next video, which is going to be slightly longer, we'll complete our invoice controller and order items controller, which are slightly more complicated. All right, so come open up your order controller file, right? And we're going to borrow a lot of things from food controller, and you must have guessed why. That's because the four functions that are required: get orders, get order, create order, update order, very similar to the foods function. Okay, so obviously there'll be a few small changes here and there. So just be careful while copying stuff. All right. So the first thing that you want to copy is yes, I'm just being careful while copying. I don't want you to get into trouble, right? Yeah. So for get orders, right? The first line that you need obviously is going to be this. Just copy and paste that line here. So at least that's sorted. Now you want to directly so I'll have to do a little bit of typing also. So I'll say order collection.find, and here I'll say context.todo, comma bson.m, okay. It's order collection.find, sorry. Now you have to define order collection as well. So how are you going to define it? It's going to be very similar to food collection. You copy your food collection line here, and you put your order collection line on top here, and you just say here, instead of food collection, you say order collection, and here instead of food, you just say order. Simple, right? And here you'll make it equal to result and error, and you'll say defer, cancel, then you'll check for error quickly. So for the error, you're going to print out the status internal server error, comma gin.h, error occurred while listing order items. All right, and where all orders is just like you had here, all foods. Actually, yeah, just copy paste it, all orders, and then after that, now there's no need to copy paste because I've already written half of the stuff, but you can copy paste it, you can save your time. And the error is going to be the same, so just copy and paste this part at least. All right, and here instead of all foods, it'll be all orders. Okay, and here instead of all foods, again it'll be just all orders. Great. So as you can see, in just under a minute probably, I think we have done our get orders function. Right, now we'll work on get order function, which is again going to be small. What I'll do right now actually is I'll just copy and paste this whole thing here. Just copy your get food function into your get order function. Now let's make changes quickly. All right, so first line is the context background, and here instead of food ID, there will be order ID, models.food, so it will be models.order. Right, instead of food ID, it will be order ID here and order ID here. Here, obviously, instead of ampersand food, it will be ampersand order. And in the end, it's going to be order. And just to make sure there's consistency, we'll say cool. So that's your get order function. Now we want to work on our create order function. So create order is going to be slightly different. So I'm going to be a little careful while copy pasting it. Before that, let's do our update order function actually, which is going to be quite similar to your update food. So let's copy the first line, please, because we know that's going to be the same. All right. And actually, let's not do that right now. Okay, let's not do this right now. Let's actually start from here. All right, right. So here for updating an order, for order you can call it table, right? Because table can place an order. So here will be models dot table and models dot order. So far so good. And then obviously you already know that you need this updated object thing, which is quite central to our whole idea. And instead of food ID, you need order ID. Okay. So just change this, make it order here, and then you have your whole bind JSON thing. So this part, so you copy and paste it. All right. Now we have to make a couple of checks here. So one check that we need is order dot table underscore ID is not equal to nil. Okay, so just in our food we had that it should have a menu. Similarly in our order, it should have a menu. It should have a table ID. So this function, I can tell you, is going to be very similar to this function. So what should we do? Should we just copy paste it? Yeah, I think I'll just copy paste it. You can, but if you need to Golang, please remember you have to type it all out. You can't just copy and paste it with me. Now, while copying and pasting, I've realized there's a small issue here. There should be menu item. I had written the wrong spelling for menu. Okay, so here instead of menu, I want to find the table ID and order dot table. I'm only copying and pasting because this series is quite long, and if we don't do this, it'll take a while to complete it. Otherwise, I'm completely against copying and pasting stuff. All right. Here you have your order dot table ID. All right. So after this, what you have the standard old updated at field. So instead of food, it will be just order, and everything else is the same. And now you'll also have your updated object. You'll copy and you'll paste it here, appending it. And then after that, it's the same stuff, but I'll just type it out. Upsert is true, and I'll create my filter quickly. bson.m order ID as order ID, and options is equal to options dot update options upsert ampersand upsert comma. Okay, and after that you have your update one, just like you have it here. Update one, we have it here, but I'm just going to type it out, right? So you have your order collection dot update one. You have ctx, just context comma filter. You have your reason.d $set comma update object comma ampersand options, and this value is going to be captured in result, and you'll have an error. The error is what we'll handle here. So if error not equal to nil, you'll have msg equal to b dot printf order item update failed. Okay, and in JSON you'll pass the status internal server error, comma gen.h error and message, and then you'll just simply return from here. And then there's not much left, right? It's just defer cancel and c.json http.status okay comma result. So that's it. That's your, within I think 2 minutes or something, we've done our update order function as well. And now the create order function is left, which will have slightly different not structure, I wouldn't say structure, but a couple of things will be slightly different. So what we're left with now is create order. All right, so create order, let's work on it quickly. It's not going to be extremely complex. Right, so order will have table, which will be of models.table, and order will also be there, will be of models.order. All right, this is very similar to the food create food item, where we need to have menu and food, both the things, right? So it's quite similar. So if you want, you can also copy this part quickly, and here instead of this, write order. All right, now we'll have validation error is equal to validate dot struct order. So you have an order struct that we already defined in our models. So we want to validate this based on order. So if validation error, so validation needs to be there, and whenever you're creating something, whenever there's a post request, you need to validate if the entries that are coming to the backend are all right. Otherwise, you will face errors from the database side. Status bad request gen.h error, and the type of error is validation error dot error. Okay, cool. And then you'll obviously, if there's an error, you'll just return from there directly. Now what you want to check is if order dot table underscore id is not equal to nil, just like we checked for our food, right? If it has a menu id right here, as in menu has to be there, right, to be able to create the food item. So similarly, the table needs to be there, table id needs to be there before you can create the order for the table. So you'll say table collection dot find one based on dot m table id order dot table id dot decode ampersand table, defer cancel, and then this is the error. If there's an error here, for finding it, you'll handle it. So if error not equal to nil, you will say msc is equal to fmt dot sprint f message the table was not found, and you will say http dot status internal server error comma gen.h error and message, and then you'll return from this function. Okay, and now comes the standard stuff. After this bracket, you'll have the standard stuff, which is created at and updated at. So you'll say created underscore at comma blank character is equal to something to do with the time and parse, right? Same with order dot updated underscore at comma the blank character time dot parse. So what is going to be what's going to come here is basically these two things, right? So you'll just copy and paste. You don't want to write this whole thing again. So copy this here and paste this here, all right? And now all you need to do is work with order ID. So you'll say order.id is equal to primitive dot new object id, and order underscore id is equal to order.id dot hex. Okay, and order collection. Now comes the part where you work with MongoDB, which you will use the insert one function to create this particular record, right? Which is a new record, and you will capture that end result, and then there will be an error, comma, insert error will be there. Okay, and if there's an error, that means if insert error is not equal to nil, then you will say msg is equal to fmt dot printf order, sorry, oops, order item was not created. Okay, and you'll send out an error saying http dot status internal, oops, sorry, server error, comma, gen.h error and msg, and you'll return from this function. You'll defer cancel and c.json http dot status okay, comma, result. Perfect. So your update order is done, and your create order is done, and get order is done as well, and get orders is also done. Now we can we have done with most of the things that are required to close this file, and everything is almost done. But there's one more function that I need to create here, which you may not understand right now till the time we are working with order items controller. But I'll just create it right now so that I don't forget that I have to create this function. So I'll just create it quickly. Item order creator, and you'll pass order, and it'll be type models.order string. So here I want order created at and updated at. So I'll copy this from here quickly. So this I'll explain this function to you properly when we are working with order items controller. You don't have to worry about it too much right now, but just follow along with me and build this quickly. Primitive. I'm just building it right now itself so that I don't forget that I have to create it later on. That can be a big problem, because this whole project series has been spread over many days, right? So I'll just forget if I built this function or not. It's equal to order.id.hex. Okay, and order collection dot insert one ctx comma order defer cancel return order dot order id order underscore id. Okay, so now this file is complete, and so we were able to complete our order controller completely, and now I have to rush somewhere, so I'm going to leave this here. And so now our food, menu, and order controllers, all three are done. And I know I said that I'll also do the table controller, but sadly I have to go for a meeting, and this video is anyways over I think 15 minutes easily. So I'm sure that you also have a lot of work to do after you watch the video. You also have a lot of things to get in order. So just make sure your food, menu, and order controls, all three are done properly, and all the other things that we've done here, you've done them according to the video. So then the next video we'll now continue our table controller, and then if we get more time we'll do order items and invoice controller, which are slightly a little different. All right. So thank you for watching, and do subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.